Hi, my name is Jonathan, and I would like to share about 7 stereotypes of Americans that I would like every single American to overcome. These are stereotypes of Americans that I have noticed having traveled to 18 countries and having come back to America and noticed what American culture is like. I have traveled to 18 countries and have lived long-term in 4 countries. I lived for a year in Kenya because my parents worked at a mission hospital in Kenya. So I lived for a year in Kenya. I lived for 5 months in Egypt because I studied at the American University of Cairo. I lived for 4 months in Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, because I did volunteer work there, and I lived for a summer in Istanbul, Turkey, because I taught English there for a summer. So I've gotten a lot of international experience, and having been overseas and come back to America, countercultural shock, I think that's what they call it, I noticed several aspects of American culture, several stereotypes of Americans that other people in the world have that are in fact true. So the 7 stereotypes I am sharing are in fact true of Americans. Okay. And I want every American to please work hard to overcome these stereotypes. And the first stereotype is Americans are fat. And that is in fact true. Americans are more fat and obese and overweight than the average Earth dweller. And that's like the first thing I notice when I come off the plane, having been in another country and come back to America. Americans are so fat. So I'm asking you, American, who's most likely fat, to stop eating fast food. No more fast food. Stop eating large portions of food. Okay, just tone it down a little bit. Just eat less. Just eat less. Okay? And just do a little more exercise. Just maybe run to work or something like that. More exercise, eat less fast food. That may help. So just to slim down America, to overcome that stereotype of Americans, eat less. And also connected to that is like when I was in Turkey, in Istanbul for 4 months and came back to America, I noticed that Americans are actually ugly too. I mean, a lot of Americans, because like Turks, people in Turkey, it's like everyone in Turkey is just fantastically beautiful. Men and women are just beautiful. I mean, and most of the world is like that. But like Americans are a lot less beautiful, and like Americans are ugly, and that's like not something I can't help you with that. But you can help the fact that you're fat. So the fact you're an American, just slim down a little bit. First stereotype. Second stereotype is that Americans are stupid. And that's true. Americans are just stupid. I mean, Americans know nothing about other cultures. They know nothing about other countries, about the world around them. And Americans are, in fact, afraid of philosophy. Americans in their conversations, they're just shallow. That's true. Americans are shallow in their conversations. Americans are stupid. They cannot hold an intelligent conversation. And when I've been overseas and I've listened to conversations in public, for example, in Africa and in the Middle East, like Africans and Arabs, when they converse with each other, they dialogue with each other, they are in fact intelligent. Africans and Arabs have intelligent conversations with each other. But when you come to America, when you hear people talk in public, conversations they're not deep. They're just completely shallow. So my recommendation to you, stupid American, is to read a book. Turn off the TV. Read a book, okay? There's something. It's something with lots of pages. You open it up and you read. And if you read a book, you might get a little more intelligent, overcome that stereotype that you as an American are stupid. Okay? The third stereotype of Americans that's in fact true is that Americans have no fashion. It's true. I mean, Americans out in public, They wear sweats. Girls wear sweatpants. American guys wear baseball caps and shorts, and all Americans wear T-shirts out in public. It's just no sense of fashion. Americans have no sense of fashion. So, I mean, okay, American, if you're going to compensate for the fact that you are fat and ugly, you may as well dress nice. Okay? So, have a better sense of fashion. Just dress a little bit better than shorts and sweats and sweatpants and a T-shirt. Okay, we're getting better, okay? Write notes, write this down. And the fourth stereotype of Americans, which is true, is that Americans are selfish. Okay? I mean, there's no other country in the world with a greater disparity in class, a greater gap between the rich and the poor than America. There is a huge class disparity in the United States of America. And when you look at the United States holistically, by all standards, the United States of America is a country plagued by poverty. This is a poor country when you look at this country holistically. In comparison, when you look at other countries, other Western countries specifically, you see that the poor are taken care of. There is less poverty in other countries, especially Western countries, because the poor are taken care of. So I'm asking you, poor American, to maybe give to the poor, maybe politically support a tax base that supports social programs so that we're less poor. This is a poor country, so give to the poor. I'm just trying to help you out as a poor American. Okay. And the fifth stereotype of Americans I want you to overcome as an American is, most Americans are religious. Religious, okay? Especially compared to other Western nations. Like, polls taken of Americans show that 95% of Americans believe in God. Also, according to these polls, 40% of Americans have had born-again experiences. But by the same polls, they say that 80% of American adults have had affairs, extramarital affairs. So, okay, it is so obvious that the religiosity of Americans equates to hypocrisy. So, Americans are hypocrites. Okay? I mean, Americans are religious, but the religious in America are hypocrites. I mean, they have affairs behind the backs of their spouses. And that's 80% of American adults. So, I mean, at least Latin Christians in Latin America, at least they are not pretentious about it. At least they say, well, I have a girlfriend in addition to my wife. At least Latin Christians are honest about it. So I'm asking American Christians to help you combat that stereotype. It's to just either completely abandon Christianity, if you're a Christian, or just stop having affairs. Stop having affairs. Okay, it's to help you that stereotype of being a religious hypocrite, which Americans are. Most Americans. Okay. I congratulate you if you're an atheist. Okay. Awesome. The sixth stereotype of Americans I'd like to help Americans overcome is Americans have a low tolerance for pain. Americans are wimps. I mean, like when it comes to studying, for example, Americans can't study. I mean, they try to study, but they want to party instead. Or whether it's like physical pain, emotional pain, psychological pain, like anything. If an American feels hurt in the smallest way, they will sue a person. They won't try to forgive the person. Like Americans, it's related to their laziness, because Americans cannot handle pain. Americans are wimps. So it's just related to the general laziness of Americans. I mean, Americans think they have this huge military, cowboys around the world, bombing innocent countries. But really, the U.S. military is so dependent on technology. It's not about, this awesome cowboy, a U.S. soldier. The U.S. military depends on technology. So, even the American military are wimps. So I want to help you, as you're a wimpy American, to just tough it out, okay? Instead of getting all huffed about emotional, psychological, physical pain you experience, instead of getting all upset about the hurt you're feeling, just tough it out, okay? That's the 6 stereotypes that I want you to overcome. The final stereotype of Americans that I have discovered, having traveled around the world, is that Americans are self-centered. They're very egotistic. And it's funny because Americans, with all their political correctness, they think they're trying to be egalitarian. Everyone's equal. But every American thinks they're better than other people. Americans they feel like they're better than any person on the street. So, like on the street, the general sense in the United States is that Americans, they don't want to talk to other people. They feel like they're better than other people. The American culture is basically a non-interactive culture. People are not interacting with each other on a daily basis. And Americans are like anti-engageable with other people. Americans do not engage with people on a daily basis. They're very self-centered. They're very self-absorbed. Americans are snobs. Okay? And Americans think the reason for the fact that they're snobs is because Americans say, we're independent. We value independence. But, the only other place where I've noticed where people are self-centered and do not interact with each other is Singapore. Because people in Singapore, they're very afraid because it's such a totalitarian capitalist society that they do not interact with each other. And so Americans do not interact with each other. They do not socialize with the average person on the street, not because they're independent, because they are afraid. Americans are afraid. They're fearful of another person. Americans are fearful of any other person on the street. So it's because of fear that Americans don't interact with each other. Americans just zone out when they're out in public. They are unaware of their surroundings, just like in Singapore, which is a totalitarian society, which probably America has become subconsciously this totalitarian society where everyone is afraid. Americans are just afraid. So I'm asking you, as a very fearful American, to just relax, okay, and interact with people on the street. Accept them as equals, okay? So I hope that helped you. Wimpy, self-centered, fat, selfish, and American. Those are all the 7 stereotypes of Americans, which are true. So get better, okay? I'm praying and hoping for a healthy America. Okay? Good luck.